Hey guys, welcome back to Canada Unbox. Today I'm going to be talking about my new Yamaha receiver. Model for it is the RXV385. I couldn't memorize that, my apologies. So this receiver is one of Yamaha's mid-level receivers. It's a 5.1 channel receiver. It has upscaling and does 4K. It is one of the first kind of group of products that came out that does the 4K bypass or direct, which means that if you have the box off, you can still have it route to TV. Until this year, that feature wasn't available on boxes. So that meant if you had your TV or your cable routed through the box, you'd have to turn the receiver on and the speakers attached to it. Now with the new feature on there, you can bypass that. So you can have the sound go direct to the TV even when it's off. And then to turn on, you just turn the receiver and it goes to the main speakers that you have, for example, the surround sound. Why is this the first thing I mentioned and why is it important? Well, as we add more technology and more levels to your AV setup, it adds complexity. You, of course, have universal remote, I'm sure, but we also know people who can't use the universal remote. So in this case here, if you have a spouse who is not as familiar with AV, this is for parents or grandparents, or if you don't have to worry about it, or you want the easy ability to use just the TV speakers, a bypass is important for you. What that allows you to do is two things. The video can come through, the audio comes through and just routes to the TV, but you can also choose your source. So that's the two functions that it does without it being turned on. That being said, it does use some power. So the receiver will always be on using a bit of power if you choose that. When I say bit of power, a very small amount. There's no displays on it, you have no sound control. All it does is it routes the HDMI or the input right to the next spot. So just enough to keep that going. Now, once you actually turn the receiver on, you can do a lot of things. This receiver has 3 different HDMI inputs in the back. You have your RCA inputs, just to name a few. On the output side, you can have the sound, like I mentioned, direct and route to the TV. So then the TV that can be sending out sound to basic speakers. You also have the twist cable knobs for an actual sound system setup. Now, this box does not have an RCA audio output. It has a surround output, obviously, and has your cables for your bigger systems. So if you are not looking to buy new speakers and your current speakers don't have the regular audio cable, this will not work except for in bypass mode or direct mode. So what that means is that the sound's going to go to the TV through the HDMI cord and then out to your speakers that you've plugged into your TV currently. Big deal? Not really, but have a little less control over it. So just an important note on there. Other features, you got radio, you have online streaming on here, so it can pick up online radio stations and such. You actually have a radio antenna you can plug in. You have some audio ins, you have 3 RCA audio ins in the back, and then you also have phono sound out in the front, and a large dial. It also can pick up Apple Music, Apple AirPlay, and you can do Spotify through it, you can do the Deezers through it, you can do Tidal through it, there's a few more. Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Napster, SiriusXM, and Arable for some countries. It claims it's Amazon Alexa friendly, kind of. It's not going to be considered a smart device. You can't talk to it per se. To do that, you need to purchase one of those Amazon Spots or Dots, or you could do a Google one. They don't matter. It doesn't matter. They have some sort of promotional contract with Amazon that they highlight the Amazon connection, but you can use either one. You would simply plug the device in the back and be able to talk to it. The extra benefit, though, with the Amazon network is that there is the widget on the Alexa skill store that connects to this, so it allows you to do a few extra little things in terms of controlling this, so switching the outputs and stuff. So there is a slight benefit going with the Alexa, but if you are already on one system or another, it's not really worth switching. There's a remote, there's buttons on it. Oh, there you go. It picked up me saying its name. Alexa, stop. There we go. A cool feature of it. This also has one other new feature that is kind of big for Yamaha. It's part of the music cast system now. So although the previous versions had it, they revamped it. They now have a new line of music cast speakers that are wireless that you can purchase in a surround sound configuration. This allows you to wirelessly play your music around without cables running through. Now, cables aren't a big deal. We've had them for ages in our home theaters. So you can decide if that's worthwhile to you. The new speakers do not work on the old boxes, only this year's release boxes. So if I mentioned that to you and you thought, oh perfect, I'm gonna go buy some speakers from my old box from last year that has music cast, it won't work. Sorry. Yamaha, you should really fix that. It would be an important thing, I think, but anywho. Or at least rename it Music Cast 2, so it's not mistaken. Again, 5.1 channel. HDMI, it has an upscaling ability, so plug in your regular HDMI, it'll upgrade to 4K. But overall, it's a pretty regular AV receiver with the remote rest on it. You have the radio, which I mentioned, your online streaming. You can receive like your AirPlay, anything else that you'd expect in a receiver, it is there. Things that are a little bit different about it, there's two on the back, there's two wireless antennas to connect to the network. Just makes it easier to connect and it can pick up them farther away. They do bend down, so if you're close to your network, like mine is literally this far from my router, they're not needed. I believe you can also unscrew it. I don't know, but I think you can if I think back to it. I don't have it right in front of me. There is a USB plug on it, and you got a line in the front as well for your iPod or for your Android phone. Overall, it's a wonderful system. If you're looking for the music cast, it works perfectly. If you don't need the music cast, it still works great. Again, the big feature here is going to be the bypass. If you've been waiting for bypass, so that's reasonably priced, this is going to be it. It's super easy to use. Again, if someone in the house is not familiar or doesn't want to use these boxes, they don't have to worry about it. All they have to do is know how to change the source on it, and that's all. The buttons are on the front, so it's easy. And usually you just leave your cable on there, and the person will just use their cable remote like they had previously. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment below. Yeah, thanks for watching. This is Canada Box, and subscribe.
Okay, so here's the new Yamaha amp, as yet uninstalled, or not installed. Here's the old one it's replacing, my Onkyo, my beloved 7.1 surround Onkyo. And I just wanted to show the size difference between them. The Onkyo weighs quite a bit more, but that could just be old technology. It's 12 years old. So I'm gonna hitch it up and see what happens. The Yamaha, of course, is only 5.1 surround, but I found I didn't use the other two speakers, not in my configuration. I just couldn't figure out a way to set it up properly. So I hope it sounds good, because the Onkyo was dynamite.